All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to start off by giving all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Marakah Kwadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of Ruel. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect, the Bayat Dawadah, the house of David. All right, so we're going to start you off in the scripture, in 1 Peter, the 5th chapter, and we'll start right up here at the first verse. It says, the elders which are among you I exhort. It says, who I am also an elder and a witness of the sufferings of the Hamashiach, and also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed. Feed the flock of Yahweh, right, which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not to be constrained, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind, neither as being lords over Yahweh's heritage, but being examples to the flock. And when the chief shepherd, right, which is Yahweh Shai, shall appear, ye shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away. All right, so let's go here into this here genius. This word genius real quick, right? It says, or moral spirit who guides and governs an individual through life from genius, right? Deity or spirit which watches over each person from birth, spirit incarnation with talent, also prophetic skill, the male spirit of genus, right? Originally power, right? Inborn nature, right? Give birth, begot, or begat, right? All right, so let's go down to here. It says procreation, as you know, procreation, and then, you get into all of those things of that nature. So boom, the henceforth why I brought this out, right, was henceforth of the Genius Act, okay? So what are they saying is they're giving birth to what you call a new currency, a new fiat currency, which is going to be under which the dollar bill and the paper money will be done away with. And what will come to life is what you call digital currencies under what you call stablecoin, which will be the US, which is backed by the USD, anyway, of the digital CBD, central bank digital currency, which was signed in by who? Donald Trump. Right? But there's even more things going back further on it. You see? Let's do this here. Right? Let's start off in here. Okay? Now, I did this with the RFID chip, right? Because that's what's going to be a part of this new technocratical world, that grain of rice, the MOTB. You see? That's how you're going to receive these CBDC currencies, which is going to be through the spirit, which I believe is stablecoin. You see? Okay? It says stable coins are rapidly evolving into the foundational high volume settlement tool for digital payments, with transaction volumes surpassing traditional card networks in 2024, pegged one fiat currencies. They offer instant 24/7 global transactions, making them ideal for integration with near-field communication, NFC, technologies like RFID microchips for seamless contactless buying and selling. Key developments regarding the future of stablecoins, right? Rapid growth and adoption. Stablecoin market capitalization has grown significantly, with the major institutions like PayPal, Visa, and MasterCard and embracing the technology. Transactions volume, right? In 2024, stablecoins facilitated approximately 27.6 trillion in payments, highlighting their transition from niche tools to essential digital infrastructure, right? It says benefits. Stablecoins provide faster, cheaper, and more transparent transactions compared to traditional payment systems, reducing reliance on intermediaries. Intermediaries diaries, right? It says regulatory and technical outlook. As regulatory clarity improves, stablecoins are set to play a key role in the future of banking and international payments. Okay? It says the integration of these stable digital assets with RFID technology allows for seamless, secure, and instant authentication for a in-person transaction, further merging the digital and physical payment experiences. All right. You see? So let's go down here. Let's jump down here, right? This is on February 2nd, 2026. It says stablecoins, the digital assets revolutionizing global payments. Stablecoin and its underpinning ecosystem have the potential to revolutionize the global payment system. But first, what is stablecoin? Stablecoins are tokenized cash issued on the blockchain, most commonly backed by fiat currency. It combines the stability of fiat currency or underlying asset with the speed and security and cost efficiency of blockchain technology. It says while you probably would not use Bitcoin to pay for your pizza, given its validity, all right, or vitality. It says validity. It says as a form of currency, you could pay for your pizza with stablecoin as a form of digital payment, similar to using Apple Pay, Cash App, or Venmo. A more common or ubiquitous use case for stablecoin than buying pizza is settling cryptocurrency trades. Given its crypto native, stablecoin can facilitate faster and cheaper crypto settlement, allow traders to move funds more easily, support arbitrage opportunities between crypto exchanges, and provide on-ramps and off-ramps for fiat currency. Okay? Increasingly, stablecoins are becoming a core layer in the crypto economy for digital payments, lending, and tokenization of assets currently issued mostly in U.S. currency. It says McKinsey, a company, reports the stablecoin circulation has doubled over the past 18 months at 300 billion from 120 billion. Stablecoin transactions are forecasted to reach more than 400 billion in value year end 2025, as much as 2 trillion by 2028. Stablecoin holds the potential to challenge the incumbent cash payment rail structure and permanently disrupt it. You see, and that's the whole point of it, right? Because stablecoin, what they're going to do is, this is your new digital currency right here. You see, that's your new Cbdc. You see, all coming from the up top by the super elite. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Abrahams, the DuPonts, the Getty, the Amalek, the Tiny Tops. You see, they hook you up to a smart, technocratical, totalitarian, authoritarian government, right? Smart meaning surveillance, monitoring, analysis, report, and tracking. Everything will be tracked, traced, and controlled under what? That RFID microchip, right? Everything stored into a blockchain. You see? So when you put everything into a blockchain, right, it's stored there, right? And you can make many different other blockchains for many different other things to be stored within those blockchains. Okay? You see? So they would know every transaction that you have done, right? You'll have a carbon footprint, social score, social credit score. You see? And all of these things of this nature, man. All right? It says tokenized money is digital representation of financial asset on a blockchain and distributed ledger. These tokens are essentially as a digital claim on an underlying asset, and their ownership is recorded and managed by smart contracts. tokenization technology is being adapted by more financial institutions and central banks to modernize payment systems and increase scale and efficiency. Right? Tokenized money comes in many different forms, which are ununique issuer and underlying asset structure. It says bank issue tokenized deposits or deposit tokens are digital representations of commercial bank deposits issued by banks, backed one for one by money on the bank's balance sheet, because they are issued by regulated institutions and they are still subject to bank regulations and deposit insurance frameworks. One example is J.P. Morgan's, right? The international bankers, the super elites. You see, J.P. Morgan's coin. You see, it says central bank digital currency (CBDCs) are digital forms of country's fiat currency issued and backed by its central bank. A CBDC is the digital equivalent of cash, and it is direct liability on a central bank, similar to treasuries, making it risk-free asset. It says they are designed to maintain a stable value related to the traditional currency like the US dollar by holding reserves. It says examples include the People's Bank of China's EECNY and the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank DC EC dollar. Stable coins are a cash equivalent digital asset issued by a private entity. Now, who is that private entity? It only has to be one private entity, but the international bankers, right? The super elites, the tiny tops, Amalek, right? The DuPonts, the Gettys, the Rothschilds, the Waldenbergs, the Bilderbergs, the Gettys, right? You see? Okay? It says licensed financial institution or a technology company. Right? It says stable coins are designed to maintain a stable value related to traditional currency like the US dollar and is backed by holding reserves. Key benefits of stablecoin: a primary goal to asset tokenization and overcoming financial fragmentation. It says the world is increasingly interconnected across financial and trade flows, but our current global payment infrastructure is still very slow and inefficient and unable to scale. Stablecoin was born out of the growing need for a more efficient cash payment system than those offered by legacy payment rails. Stablecoins based payments are instantaneous, lower cost, and have increased end-to-end traceability and visibility on a chain and offer 24/7 on a chain liquidated. Stablecoin also provides expanded access and financial incision to the world's unbanked population. Given its wallet based rather than account based, the benefits of stablecoin and its ecosystem are further detailed in the table below. It says, as a form of digital cash, consumers and merchants and institutions can utilize the stablecoin ecosystem to transact in a variety of ways and beyond just payment. These include yield generation on savings, lending, and currency translation. It says, another key advantage of stablecoin for digital asset DeFi, and it says investors, is that it keeps cash on chain, avoiding having to toggle between the DeFi and traditional finance worlds. It says today, 9 out of 10 use cases for stablecoin or crypto to crypto transactions. However, other important potential use cases for stablecoin are becoming increasingly recognized. All right, let me see. And there's so many, as you can see here, right? There's a lot of information right there. Okay, so we're not going to read all this information. We'll just run down here. You can go and look it up yourself because, we got a lot of things to get to here in this video. All right. All right, you can go and read the rest of this article. But let's get out of here. All right? Let's go down to here real quick. Let's see where we got it at. Right there. Stable coins. Now, these are 26 pages. Right? 26 pages long. Now, this was back, it says the Board of Governor in the Federal Reserve System. It says International Finance and Decision Papers. You see this here? It says stablecoins growth and potential impact on banking. Look at this. Right? Now, this was back on January 2022. You see that? Okay. Now, recently, right? Like, what, 2024? I think it was, or 2025? Maybe 2024. 2025. I think when Donald Trump had signed that Genius Act in there. We got it. I got the video on it, so it'll bring it up. But anyway, the point of it is that they had this thing planned out. This was back in January 2022, back during the time of what? COVID-19. You see? COVID-19. Okay? So all these things was going on in the midst, man. Henceforth, they already knew they want to bring in this here stablecoin. So this is why we're not ignorant to Satan's devices, man. All right? We're not ignorant to Satan's devices, man. But you can go and read this here if you want to go look it up. It's called, let's go back. Right? Growth and potential and impact on banking, right? About the Federal Reserve Board, right? Which has to do with a lot with stable coins, right? And the trade in digital assets and the serve, right? You see? So it's 26 pages long. So you go look that up if you would like. All right? So now let's get into this right over here. Let's get into this. All right? Matter of fact, let me get you a scripture before we get into that. All right? Let me get the Apocrypha out. We're going to go into the book of Sirach. All right, we're going to start with we're going to go right down to the 14th verse. It says, to fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and it was created with the faithful in the womb. Right, and the Israelites, right, the elect is going to be the faithful. See? Starting with the men of the Lord are going to be the faithful ones, man. You see? They're going to have faith. Hebrews 11:1. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You see? So let's read it again. This is Sirach 1, chapter 1, and verse number 14. It says, to fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and it was created with the faithful in the womb. Right? Let's jump down to verse number 19. It says, wisdom bringeth down skill and knowledge and understanding, standing and exalted them to honor that hold her fast. You see? And those are the ones who are holding this knowledge, this wisdom, this understanding fast, right? Being able to see through things, right? Being able to have the light, the eyesight, right? You see? Okay? Being able to teach this thing without leaven in the bread, right? But we coming with unleavened bread of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, right? Meaning there's no lies within this truth. You see? Coming in the spirit of truth. And what we're giving you here is nothing but truth. Okay? You see? Let's jump down to verse number 23. It says, a patient man will tarry for a time, and afterward joy shall spring up unto him. Jump down to verse number 25. Right? It says, the parables of knowledge are in the treasures of wisdom, but godliness is an abomination to a sinner. Verse number 26, it says, if thou desire wisdom, keep the commandments. Right? And that's what we do. We keep the commandments to the best of our ability. Right? Because we know we're living in this society. You see? So we have to keep the commandments to the best of our abilities. Okay? It's all about faith. Having faith in what? The resurrection of Yahweh Shai. And ultimately having faith. You see? Faith is the key point. Okay? All right. It says, verse number 27, it says, for the fear of the Lord is wisdom and instruction, and faith and meekness are his delight. Okay? Now, let's go into this video.
take a giant step to cement American dominance of global finance and crypto technology as we signed the landmark Genius Act.
In a groundbreaking moment for the cryptocurrency industry, President Donald Trump has signed into law a sweeping piece of legislation aimed at putting the United States at the center of the global cryptocurrency market.
Congratulations to everybody. This is a big deal.
The Genius Act, short for Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins. This is the first federal law regulating stablecoins in the country. Supporters call it a genius move. Critics say it could give America too much control over a decentralized technology. But what exactly is this new law? What does it change in the US? And why does it matter right now? Let's break it down. To begin with, the law sets up a federal regulatory framework for stablecoins, digital tokens designed to hold a stable value by being backed with real assets.
Let me do this real quick. Let me get you the scripture. All right. Let's go here in 1 Corinthians, 2nd chapter, right? And we're just going to read all the way down, right? It's only 16 verses. All right. It says, "And I, brethren, when I come to you, come not with excellency of speech or of wisdom, declaring unto you the testimony of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? For I demanded not to know anything among you save Yahushai the Hamashiach and him crucified. And I was with you in weakness and in fear and in as much trembling. And my speech and my preaching was not with enticing words of men's wisdom, but in a demonstration of the Spirit and in power. It says that your faith should not stand in the wisdom of men, but in the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Howbeit we speak wisdom among them that are perfect, yet not the wisdom of this world, nor the princes of this world that come to naught. But we speak the wisdom of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai in a mystery, even hidden wisdom, which Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai ordained before the world unto our glory. It says, which none the princes of this world knew, for had they known it, they would not have crucified the Yahushai of glory. It says, but as it is written, the eye have not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of men the things which Yahushai hath prepared for them that love him. All right. It says, but Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai revealed them unto us by his Spirit, for the Spirit searcheth all things, yea, the deep things of Yahweh. It says, for what man knoweth the things of man, saith the Spirit of man which is in man. Even so the things of Yahweh knoweth no man but the Spirit of Yahweh. It says, now of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. It says, now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit which is of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Which things also we speak not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth, but which the Holy Spirit teacheth, comparing spiritual things to spirit with spiritual. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. But he that is spiritual judgeth of all things, yet he himself is judged of no man. For who have known the mind of the Lord Yahushai, right? The Lord Yahweh, Salakia, that he may instruct him, but we have the mind of the Hamashiach, Yahushai. You see? So we have the mind of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, man. All right? And when we see things like this, and this was very important, you see? When he first signed it, I caught that, when he first signed it a while back. And I was looking at him like, oh, yeah, that's going to be a part of that RFID microchip. right? That's going to be the Cbdc that they're going to push out, which through the spirit, which is going to be all connected with that 6G, right? Which is thought patterns and reading processes, okay? And reading off your emotions and how you're going to get paid through that microchip, with that coin, with that central bank digital currency, which store things into a blockchain, right? Which is in that RFID. Man, listen, man, if you can't see this, then, hey, man, because see, only the secrets are going to be revealed to the prophets, man. Amos, and we're revealing the secrets unto you, showing you, don't take that microchip, man. Take that microchip, Yahweh Shem Yahushai going to destroy you, man. All right, letting you know. You see, Amos 3:7, right? It says, surely the Lord Yahweh will do nothing but reveal his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. You see? All right? And we're not ignorant to Satan's devices. You see? We're not ignorant to Satan's devices, man. We know what Satan is up to. We know what the adversary, the devil, Esau, Edom is up to. We know about his technocratical world. We know about what they was talking about in Davos 2026. We know about all that what you call sacrificing and blood drinking and all these other things that they doing right to their gods, to these left-hand gods, right? To these idols, right? You see, trying to boost their power up to try to set up their technocratical world. Right? Left-hand miracles, right? Trying to make the blind to see, putting brain chips in people. We know what's going on, man. But a lot of you people just can't see it. Why? Because it's not meant to be, because you're not a part of the elect. You see? Because only the men of the Lord will have the eye solved to see. Right? You see? And those that are able to see are a part, Lord willing, may be a part of that elect, man. All right, so this is 2 Corinthians 2:11. You see? It says, least Satan should get an advantage of us, but we are not ignorant of his devices. Right, we're not ignorant to this man's plan, right? Because that's what the word devices right there mean. We're not ignorant to this man's plan. I'm going to go and show you that's what it means. Okay? The word devices right there. Let's play it.
Strong's G 3540, Naima,
right? A mental perception, right? Thought, right? Evil purpose. That which thinks the mind, thoughts or purposes. Okay? Mind, device, thought, right? Perception, see? Purpose, intellect, disposition, itself, device, mind, thought. That's a plan. See? Okay? And the purposes of what? His new world order. You see, getting that thing started, right? And he already have the structure, right, ready to go. The system is about to just come all into play. You see? So these devils are in the midst of this thing, right? Okay? This was their meeting over in Davos 2026, right? Let's go back over in here, man.
Like the US dollar. Under the Genius Act, stablecoins must be fully backed by real money or safe assets. Secondly, the issuers must make monthly public disclosures of reserves. Third, companies cannot lie about being government approved and must follow clear rules on how they advertise. And finally, if a stablecoin company collapses, users get first dibs on the money behind the coins.
See, like this, they want this thing to be a one world major reserve, or how can I say, payment system. You see, and they wanted to be ran off of a one payment system, and this one payment system is a digital asset currency, right? A decentralized Cbdc, right? Which it's only crazy that he would sign this thing into here, right? Because why? They want to push this off, right? And as I showed you in that article back, wow, they had many different forms of the stable coin, but the henceforth is backed by what? The fiat currency, the USD. You see? Okay.
Speaking at the White House signing ceremony, President Trump called it the greatest revolution in financial technology since the birth of the Internet.
Under this bill, the entire ancient system will be eligible for a 21st century upgrade using the state-of-the-art crypto technology. Who would have thought we would have been saying that?
As you can see, the 21st century, see, these devils are trying to get into what you call their fourth industrial revolution. A global reset, right? Do away with the cash, right? Everything becomes digital. Everything becomes an IOB, Internet of Bodies. IoT, Internet of Things. You see? You become the track trace with a UPC inside of you. Okay? A universal product code. A 12-digit universal product code with a 666 inside of that UPC digital product code, right? Which is a reader, which is that chip which becomes a reader. I read to you about it. Okay? You see?
After I really met you for the first time, the Genius Act provides banks, businesses, and financial institutions a framework for issuing crypto assets backed one for one with real U.S. dollars, treasury bills, and other cash equivalents. Is really strengthening the dollar and giving the dollar great prominence.
In a White House fact sheet released shortly after the signing, the administration framed the law as a major step towards protecting consumers, maintaining the US dollar's global dominance, and strengthening national security. The Genius Act has already had a massive impact on markets. The cryptocurrency market responded with explosive enthusiasm to the legislative developments during the whole.
These are ways of tracking and controlling. They can track and trace. They can turn off your chip. Everything can happen in the midst. You see? These are the things that's going in. That's why he called it crypto law, right? Meaning nothing is going to advance over what he's pushing because it's coming from who? The tiny tops, the small hatters, all right? The super elites, the banking families, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Ibrahimers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, okay? You see? Because that's who's pulling the strings of this devil, Nero 47. You see? He bowed down to those devils. The other devils that's behind him, the super high up devils. Okay? Because he's a devil himself. You see? All right? A part of their Freemasonry, right? You see? The Illuminati, right? The enlightened ones on the left-hand side, right? Henceforth calling themselves what? The geniuses. You see?
Week. The crypto sector's market valuation hit $4 trillion. A wave of renewed optimism, regulatory clarity in key markets, and rising institutional flows catapulted the sector to a new valuation peak.
It is very positive. Clarity is important. Crypto does not want to continue to live in a place where it feels very gray, it feels very scammy, and it feels like it's unregulated. Bringing regulatory clarity is important as long as it doesn't stifle innovation.
In the week from the 14th of July to the 18th, Bitcoin shattered psychological barriers, surging past $120,000 for the first time in history on the 14th of July, reaching an all-time high of over $123,000, before settling around $121,000. Reports suggest that Bitcoin touched a market capitalization of $2.3 trillion that day, positioning the cryptocurrency as the fifth most valuable asset class globally, even surpassing Amazon's valuation. Meanwhile, Ethereum, the second largest cryptocurrency, experienced its own remarkable rally, climbed past $3,000 to reach a 5-month high. In short, the passing of this act has given investors more confidence than ever before. But what is more interesting is how President Trump has made a U-turn on his views on cryptocurrency. In 2019, Donald Trump called Bitcoin a scam. But by last year, he had rebranded himself as the crypto president, pledging to make America the crypto capital.
Right, because he got that little talking by the elites. You see, because this is their way. This is their way of pushing off this new fiat, the new fiat way, but a digital way, which is CBDCs. You see.
Of the world.
Hello, Bitcoiners. Thank you very much. Hello. It's good to be with you. It's good to be with you. If crypto is going to define the future, I want to be mined, minted, and made in the USA. It's going to be. It's not going to be made anywhere else. And if Bitcoin is going to the moon, as we say.
As you can see, he got the blue tie on.
Is going to the moon. I want America to be the nation that leads the way.
The 666, son. As you see.
And that's what's going to happen. It's a big deal.
Earlier this year, he launched his own meme coin. His administration has also established a presidential working group on digital asset markets and appointed crypto.
Donald Trump with the red tie. You see? So these things are going on in front of you, man. All right? You see? Donald Trump with the blue tie, Donald Trump with the red tie. They had Donald Trump with the purple tie at his inauguration because he was going through what you call his ceremony ritual. You see? Henceforth, why at that inauguration he didn't put his hand on the Bible. Okay? Because they're going to send forth out their new world order plans. You see? This is what's going on. Okay?
Regulators. Besides, the Trump administration's approach marks a stark departure from the Biden presidency, which was characterized by aggressive enforcement actions against cryptocurrency firms. Reports suggest the US government currently holds nearly 200,000 Bitcoin, primarily seized through federal investigations. But some critics have raised eyebrows, pointing to a stablecoin project called USD1, backed by the Trump family and likely to benefit from this law. So what happens next? The Genius Act now heads to implementation. Federal agencies
the inauguration, as you can see, he had the purple tie on. Right? Or he was walking down there with the purple tie on.
180 days to finalize rules and licensing procedures for stablecoin issuers. Banks, tech firms, and even foreign players are watching closely. Could open the door for giants like PayPal, Apple, or JP Morgan to enter the stablecoin space legally.
And a lot of them have entered stablecoin because JP Morgan is nothing but the international bankers. All right. Now, when you go back on how the money was created, it was created on Jekyll Island. I think it was back in I forgot the actual year. I got to go back and look it up, but I know it was created. The fiat money, the fiat money that you hold, the paper dollar bills, was created on Jekyll Island. Okay.
The law may also put pressure on Europe and Asia, forcing them to speed up their own digital asset regulations.
The rest of the world has been waiting for the U.S. to bring more clarity to crypto assets, including stablecoin, right? And we all know that during the last administration, there were a lot of objections towards digital assets in general. So a lot of the frameworks were essentially stuck at both the Senate as well as the House. So this time with the new presidency, the new renewed direction in terms of crypto assets, it brought...
So, as digital currencies gain structure and scale, the US law could shape how governments worldwide approach crypto policy. For investors and regulators, the next phase is not about speculation, but stability. And while the market responds in real time, it's the rulebook that may now hold the most value.
So there you have it on that, right? So we're just going to get my last scripture. We're going to get up out of here in Revelation 13. You already know where I'm going. Revelation 13, we're just going to get right to the point. Verse number 16. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, the charagma, in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, right? Transactional, you see, exchanges for service and goods, save he that had the charagma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that haveth understanding count the number of the beast, right? For it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. All right, so with that, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Marakakwadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of well, peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect, the Bayal Tawadah, the house of David. Shalom.